Welcome back to PowerPoint 2010, Lesson 2, Creating a Presentation. So now that you're familiar with the various elements of PowerPoint 2010 user interface, you are ready to create your first PowerPoint presentation. As you become more familiar with the basic functionality of PowerPoint, you will develop the confidence and abilities that you will need to create high-caliber, high-impact presentations. To work within PowerPoint 2010, you will need to be able to create a new presentation, add various types of content, and then save and close your file. And that is what we will be doing today. So Lesson 2, Creating a Presentation. Today we are going to learn how to add text to slides, how to format text, how to add illustrations to slides, and how to format those graphic illustrations. Also, how to create your own master slide. So let's get started. So here we go on Lesson 2, Creating a Presentation. The first thing we need to do is go up to File and click on File and go down to New. While we have a lot of options, we are going to choose the blank presentation. I'm going to go over to Create, and now we have our blank slide. So this is our title slide. Remember, we can add text to it. All we have to do is click into the title bar to add text. There is another way that you can add text to a slide, and that's if you click over here on Outline. We can add text straight from here. If we click Enter, it'll automatically bring up another slide. When we click back onto our Slides tab, we'll see penguins here and our new slide here. We are going to click back up to penguins. We have the option to add a subtitle. I'm going to go ahead and put in a subtitle. What I like about penguins. And an exclamation point. So now we can go ahead and select our next slide. So on this next slide, we are going to add a picture of a penguin. My favorite penguin. And we can click to add text here. And we can also click down here to add pictures, or we can go to Insert to add our pictures. So if we click down here, we select Insert, we can go to Picture. We can look in our samples. Found my penguins. I click on that and go to Insert. Now I have a picture of my favorite penguin. But this is actually a picture of many penguins. If I wanted to, I could actually remove the background to just have one penguin showing. To do that, I have my Picture Tools Contextual tab is active. Have one tab under there, which is Format. I can go and click at the far left here to remove background. When I click on Remove Background, it puts like a fuchsia color, and all I need to do is to adjust the frame so that I can make sure I just have my one penguin. I like the one with his back to me, so I'm going to bring in the edges as much as possible to get rid of the other penguins. What this does is it brings out just the one penguin. Well, now that I've brought it out, part of his arm is gone. I've got all this back here. So I can draw it back a little bit. It takes a little bit of practice. I got a little bit more gone. When I want to get rid of more of the information, all I need to do is just play with it just a little bit more. He's not the most ideal guy to get out of there. So once I've got quite a bit out of there, I can go up here to mark areas to keep. I'm going to click on that. I got a little spot right here that I want to keep. And just draw that little line. Keep that little spot right there of him. His tummy's missing, so I can click to add his tummy back in. Now there's also parts that I want to get rid of. There's parts in here that I don't want showing up anymore. There's also mark areas to remove. When I click on that, I can draw it up to areas that I want removed. You can also click to remove areas, but it will just give you one little click at a time. There's a little dot. Luckily, it should take all of it out. Just in case, this little guy's arm is over here. I think he looks pretty good. Get rid of his feet right here. And I got a little bit of sand right in here. And now, once I've found all the areas that I want to get rid of, I can click on Keep Changes. Now I've noticed that my penguin has still got a little bit of the other guy in there. So I can click and remove background again. And mark areas to remove. And mark this area that I did not catch previously. And also, got a little flipper over here under his arm. Got a little flipper over here. Now I can keep changes and see what it looks like. Still got some areas. Click remove. Let's go ahead and draw a line here for mark areas to remove. Instead of clicking, let's go ahead and draw a line. Let's draw a line. Still got a little bit off to the side here. And part of his flipper is missing. Well, it seems kind of time consuming. Once it gets done, it looks great. Let me mark part of his flipper to bring back in. I need to move my picture a little bit more, which is going to actually open up more spots. Oops, I don't want to keep him. I want to get rid of him. So where it doesn't have to be perfect, we're not designers here. It is nice when it looks more like it is, like you were wanting it to. Alright, got a little spot down here. Got some stuff down here. Let's take a look at our penguin now. Looks much better. So here is my favorite penguin. I noticed at the last minute I lost a little something there. Let's get that back. And keep changes. So here's my little penguin. I don't think that's his eye. Let's make sure. And keep changes. Nope, it was his eye. So there's my penguin. Once I have him like this and I've removed the background, I can also crop the picture to get rid of all the excess around it. So on the picture tools in the size, I can click crop. It brings this up and I can move my edges. And then if I click outside, there's my penguin, and he's cropped. I can also add styles to him. So I can add a border. I can add different effects to him. I can add him in a picture frame. If I click the more button to go down, this is a gallery of styles. And while I am hovering over things, I can see the live preview. So I'm on the live preview of looking at the different ways. I kind of like that. That's the looking at the different ways of having my penguin picture. So there he is. He looks quite handsome. So now let's go ahead and add our next slide. This time I think I'm going to do a blank slide. And the reason I'm going to do the blank slide is I'm going to insert a text box by clicking Insert, going over to Text Box. Click down here. If you notice, I have a different looking mouse pointer, and that is so that I can click and hold the mouse down and drag. And once I get the text box out there, then I can let go. And then I can type in the text box. So I'm going to type in Monty the Penguin. This is my friend Monty the Penguin. Now I'm going to actually modify or format my text. So I want my text to be a little bit bigger. So there's a couple ways I can do it. I can click this down and I can go, and if you remember, there's live preview, so when I hover over it, I can actually see what it looks like. I like about 40. The other way is if I decide I do want it one more size bigger, this A here and A here, this is increase the size and this is decrease the size. So I can increase it by one size or I can decrease it by one size. So I'm going to select my text and I'm going to increase it by one size. So now it's at the 44. I can also change and make it bold, or I can make it italicized. I can have it underlined. I can have it shadow. I kind of like that. I could change the font color. So if I click on this, I get a drop down of the color palette. This color palette, I think I am going to take a look at maybe this green. This green looks, actually let's do with blue. Blue looks refreshing for a penguin, so we're going to do blue. So now that I have it like that, you know, I really think I would like it better if maybe it was all in capital letters. Rather than removing everything I've done, I can go up here to change case and I click the down arrow. I can put it in sentence case where just the first letter of each line is capitalized. I can put it all in lowercase. I can put it all in uppercase. I can capitalize each word, or I can put it in toggle case, which is usually a good idea if you actually accidentally leave your cap locks on and you want it untoggled. So I'm going to go back up to uppercase. I really like this, but I think it really needs to be centered a little bit more. When I click center, it centers it in the text box. So if I draw out my text box a little bit more, you can see it's centered in the text box. I can change my text direction. I can make it rotate all the way around. I can stack it. I can even look at more options. So I have alignment abilities here. I can reshape to fit the text. I can change the internal margin. I think I'm going to leave it alone for right now. So now I have my Monty the Penguin. And now I think I'm going to add the picture of Monty the Penguin. Well, one of the ways that I can add is I can go up to Insert, and I can bring a screenshot from the internet over. So if I click on Screenshot in the Insert tab, I can click the down arrow. As you will see, I've got some available windows, but I don't want the whole window. So I want to go down here to Screen Clipping. What's going to happen? It brings up the screen, it turns it a hazy color, and then I can draw my box by holding down my mouse and dragging it just like you do a text box. I am going to go ahead and cut the whole picture, and it brings it over. Now I can crop it to make sure that it fits in the screen a little bit better. So I've got my picture tools because I have a picture. I'm going to go over here to crop. I'm going to click down and go to crop. I also have the ability to crop to shape. We'll look at that in a minute. So I'm going to click on crop again, and I'm going to start up here at the top, and I'm just going to get rid of some of the extra. I don't want to make it too cut off. If I click outside, then I have my new picture all designed. If I click on it, I can add my picture styles. I can actually add a border myself. So if I click up here to picture border, I can add my own border to it. So if I want to add a blue border or a yellow border or an orange border, let's give the orange border a try. So first I want to look at the weights. I want it to stand out a little bit. So I can actually change to where it's a few points heavier. And then I can go up and change my color. So now I have a nice orange border around my picture, my screen clipping from the internet. So let's go up and add a new slide. So I'm going to go up to New Slide. I think I'm going to do Title and Content. Click on Title and Content. For a title, I think I'm going to add Herman the Penguin. Again, I have my boxes down here, makes it nice and quick, or I can go up to Insert, and I'm going to insert clip art this time. So I could either click here to add clip art, or I could click here to add clip art. I'm going to choose here. So now I have typed in a clip art search for penguin, and so I have me a few options. This is Herman. I like him. I can click on him to add him, or I can click on this arrow and insert. Again, I don't really like how much space is there. So this time I'm going to crop to shape. I'm going to crop to shape. What kind of shape do I want to crop to? Well, I want to crop to something that he's going to fit in. So let's go ahead and crop to let's crop him to a oval. So now I'm going to want to draw his edges in. When I draw his edges in, that is actually making it the picture smaller. So if we put him back where he was, let's go ahead and crop him. And now he's cropped to shape. I had my shape in there, got an idea if I liked it, and now he's cropped to shape. I can add some effects. There's some picture effects. I can add a shadow. So if I hover over it, I can see all the different shadows. I can add a reflection. I can add a glow. I like the glow. So let's go ahead and add kind of a nice little hueish glow. When I click on glow, I also can have more colors and I can have some glow options. I'm actually able to make the edges even softer. So let's go ahead and we'll take a color. We're going to take a color, this orange, and we are going to do the glow. And the glow is preset at this. We can actually make it more glowy. We can change the transparency. Now it's not as transparent. Now it's more transparent. And then of course we have our presets. So right now it's no soft edges. We could actually add soft edges. So it kind of rounds it. We're going to leave it at no soft edges and we're going to hit close. So here is adding my penguin. He's got a nice little shade to him, little glow to him, and we've inserted clip art and we've now made him our little penguin. So I'm going to select a new slide. On this slide, I think I'm going to choose a content with caption. So what I can do is I can add a title. Penguins are our friends. So I could just type, penguins are the best animals to have as friends. They are cute and waddly. You can add whatever you like. Now I may want to go and change the font on this. I can go up here and I can change the font by clicking the down, and I can change it to this one here. So as you can see, the font changed. Now as I'm getting closer to being done with my presentation, I need to make sure that I do a spell check. I'm pretty much done typing in text, so I think now I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I have no problems with my spelling. So I'm going to select my first slide and I'm going to go to the Review tab. The Review tab has our spell check on it. Go all the way over into Proofing and click Spell Check. So it doesn't like my word waddly. I could change it to waddle. I could change it to widely, which is not it. Waddled and waddles. Waddles is probably the closest, or I could add it to my dictionary. But these are your options. A word that's not in the dictionary gives you options to suggestions to change it to. You have the ability to ignore all instances of it, to change all instances of it, to add the word to the dictionary, to make your own suggestions, to autocorrect, and to close. I like Woodley. I'm adding it to my dictionary. So now I'm going to go ahead and choose me another clip art. So clip right here. And let's add this guy here. I click on that little arrow that was next to him, and I can click Insert. So that's the basic idea of adding text and formatting text, as you saw over here. Adding pictures, adding borders, adding effects. We added our little special effect from the pane from up here on the format tools in the picture style. Now, one last thing that I want to do is I want to show you how to add something to the master slide so it appears on all of your slides. Now, when we get ready to do themes and such, you will notice that this new slide here, this is the office theme. Well, we are going to be able to modify and create our own theme, and I want to show you how that we can change and modify the master slide so that all slides come out that way. And I'm just going to show you it briefly because we're going to do more with it on the modifying and creating your own themes. So we're going to click on View. And in the Master's view, we have Master Slide. So here is the master slide. We can change the master slide to have anything that we want on it. It always starts with the title slide. So I'm just going to add this little clip art here of one of the penguins. Let's add the baby penguin. We're going to insert that. It's just going to throw it anywhere on the picture. We're going to minimize this. Make it a little bit smaller by dragging the corner. I added 2 pictures. We're going to cut this one and add the baby. Let's go ahead and crop the baby. Click over here on the tool, Picture Tools Contextual tab, click on Crop. Let's get it so it's just the baby without doing the background thing. Kind of time consuming. Alright, and we click outside. Here's our baby, and then we're going to shrink him down. Again, it's better to take a big picture and make it smaller than it is to take a small picture and make it bigger, just that the pixels don't really turn out well. And I'm going to add him on our slide. So now he is on this slide here. I can copy and add him to this slide here. And he should appear on every one of our slides. So now when I go back to the regular view, let's go back to our normal view. Our little penguin is on every one of my slides. So altogether, we edited text, we formatted text, we added text, we inserted a picture, we inserted clip art, we inserted a screen clipping, and we also did effects and styles for those pictures. We learned to crop, we learned to remove background. It's been a very fulfilling lesson. So now it's time to go ahead and give it some practice. So get ready for your assignment.